Welcome to 1000 PS, welcome to Triumph HQ here in Hinckley in the UK. And if you want to visit Triumph HQ, you can do. We're right in the middle of the museum, which is open to the public. But what we want to do is look at what Triumph are doing for next year. And they're going to have 29 new models, which is an impressive number. And some of those 29 new models are the modern classic range, a range that I really, really love. Now, it's difficult to not mention Triumph and not mention character and authenticity, especially when you've got the original Bonneville in the background. Now, back in the day, people were riding bikes like the Bonneville, and famous names were synonymous with Triumph, not because they were paying them. They weren't modern influences, and I'm talking about Evel Knievel, Steve McQueen, Elvis Presley. They were the bikes that made this brand and these types of bikes look cool. And Triumph have done an amazing job with their modern classic range. But let's try and go through some of the updates that we can expect for 2026. Now, because there are so many updates, I've got a host of Triumph experts behind the camera. So if I get something wrong, you might hear a quick shout and a point in the right direction. They were going to use a cattle prod, but they're going to be a little bit sympathetic. So the main one for me across all the range is the introduction of rider aids. And what I mean by that is that they have IMU. So we've got lean sensitive ABS and lean sensitive traction control. Now in two ways, that's a good thing because most bikes now have lean sensitive ABS and lean sensitive traction control. And I don't know why you wouldn't ride a bike without them. But the difficult bit is when you fit it on a bike that is designed to look something from the 50s and 60s, is where do you put everything without making it look modern? Well, they've managed to do it somehow with some magic, amazing engineering because it still looks like the original bike, even though we've got modern rider aids. And that goes across all the fleet. Every bike has slick design touches with different headlights, different colors, and every bike has got an absolute host of accessories, so you can personalize the bike to how and the way you want to style it. If we start with the Speedmaster, that's changed ever so slightly with the bar position. If you remember on the Speedmaster, it used to kind of sweep round and come back a little bit. Now the bars are a little bit more further forward. A lot of styling changes, a little bit more comfort. Triumph have listened to customers and they've wanted a bike that they can go a little bit further on with a little bit more comfort. So the tank has increased in size, which in theory should give you more range, and with the comfort, you should be able to go further. If you want to do even more, there are accessories like city bars and bigger screens if you want to do some big mileage. With the T120 and the T100, we've mentioned the lean sensitive ABS and the lean sensitive traction control. But now in Europe, both bikes can be restricted for A2 license holders. Again, that's where that necessity for that lean sensitive ABS and lean sensitive traction control. These bikes are going to be ridden, in our cities around Europe, on cobbles, on wet roads, over leaves and different surfaces. And that's where you've just got that working in the background as a safety net. I'm sure for 90% of your riding time, you'll never feel the ABS working, but when that one occasion does happen, you'll be thankful it's there. For the bobber, we've gone up in fuel tank size, we've increased the comfort, we've got the new headlight, we've got new color options. The first bobber with a 9-litre fuel tank and the smaller front wheel, I really loved that bike, but it did lack a bit of long-range comfort and long-range distance. And as it's evolved, Triumph have changed the bobber, so we've now gone up an extra 2 litres in capacity, comfort should be a little bit more, and we've got the lean-sensitive rider aids. Obviously, all models are Euro 5+. And then we come to the Scrambler 900, which is a new model for 2026. We haven't got the 1200 here, but if I remember rightly, we've now gone to Öhlins RSU shocks on the big 1200, and on the 900, we've got Showa front and back. Now, this is where it gets confusing because they've got lighter wheels. I'm going to get this right, and all the Triumph mechanics are shaking their heads at the back thinking I'm not going to get this right, on the bobber and the Speedmaster. Oh, got it correct. Essentially what that is saving on unsprung weight. If you can save on unsprung weight, you affect the handle. It makes it easier. Bikes essentially want to go in a straight line. The heavier the wheels, the more they want to go in a straight line. If you can save on the weight of the wheels, the rotation, the unsprung mass, It makes the bike more agile and gives the feeling that the bike is lighter. Just saving a little bit on unsprung weight makes a massive difference and makes the bike steer and feel lighter. I think I've got everything. I'm not going to go through all the prices. I'm not going to go through all the power and torque figures, and I'm not going to go through wheelbase, rake, and trail, because I think you're buying these bikes for how they look and how they make you feel. And that's what Triumph offer in a big, wide range. Not even remembering the 400s and the entry-level bikes. But if you want a modern classic, Triumph kind of ticks every box. From a bike that you can jump over cars on, to a bike that you can ride in California and look cool for long distances. The bikes are obviously going to be available at different times. We're hopefully going to be getting on the bikes shortly. Hopefully it'll be somewhere sunny and beautiful, and hopefully we can have a good time. If you want to know anything more about price or any more specific details, please fire them below, because obviously prices depend on different countries and availability. The bikes are going to be on show at EICMA. We'll probably delve into these bikes a little bit more when we're at EICMA. But as a broad sweeping kind of statement, Triumph have reinvented their modern classic range. We've got more rider aids, more tech, tweaks to the styling, tweaks to comfort, tweaks to longevity. Essentially, listen to what customers want: more safety, more comfort, and a bigger range. The modern classic range. Anything else I'm missing? Oh, they're not going to kill me. We'll see you on the next one. Hope you enjoyed it.